Welcome to the first discussion on the uncharted body. So if by now you've received a copy, thank you so much for buying one. I hope you're enjoying it. And this series of discussions, talks, lectures is really just about enhancing your enjoyment of the book and allowing you to get a little bit more out of it. So today I'm going to talk about just the very first line in the uncharted body, which appears to have been written by a lawyer. It wasn't. I try and avoid lawyers when possible. And that is, the body that can be described is not the body. So as I said, it seems to be some kind of get out clause for the book, suggesting that the rest of the book cannot be taken in any way seriously. And actually, if you're a lawyer, that's exactly what it is. But it isn't. It's really just a clause to explain that the body is unfathomably complex, and so it's any description of it is inherently wrong, which sounds like a bit of a terrible thing to say, really, doesn't it, when I've just written a book about the body. But this line is actually from the Tao Te Ching. It's the first line of the Tao Te Ching, which is the ancient Chinese book on philosophy from the 6th century BC. And I've slightly paraphrased because they talk about the Tao, which is like the universe. If the universe had a kind of living aspect to it, it would be the Tao. The Taoists said, look, as soon as you try and describe the universe, it's so complex and so big that you limit it. And so as soon as you limit it, it's no longer the universe, because the universe is kind of limitless. And although the body would seem a lot smaller when compared to the universe, actually it isn't. It's as limitless as the universe as well. Even before you start thinking about the body's incredible complexity, 100 trillion cells. Each cell has thousands of working parts within it, and then you've got 6 billion base pairs within each cell, and then everything's interacting. That's where the incredible complexity comes from, is the interactions. You could probably just about describe the body in terms of its physical components, and you might eventually get there. I mean, science is mapping the entire genome at the moment, and it will get there. But then everyone's genome is slightly different. But even if it got there as well, you've got this interaction that's going on between everything, which just makes the whole thing utterly incomprehensibly complex. And so that's the massive proviso when we come to understanding the body, that we have to necessarily simplify it. So this is important to understand, because it should make you very humble in regards to your relationship to medicine and relationship to trying to fix the body, in that it's slightly terrifying in a way, because it's so complex that you've never got a chance of really truly understanding it. You could spend 100 lifetimes and you'd end up still with just a tiny glimmer of what was going on. And the ancient sages and the ancient masters of medicine in China, I think they got this, they understood this, and so what they did was go, okay, well, what we need to do is try and make this as simple as possible, because otherwise it's just going to get out of control. And so that's why they use the macrocosm. They use what was going on in the greater world to explain what was going on within the microcosm. And so in other words, within the macrocosm, heat rises, and within our bodies also heat tends to rise, which is why headaches from fire will occur, for instance. And so that's why I think it's absolutely fair enough to use that phrase, the Tao that can be described is not the Tao, as the body that can be described is not the body, because within Taoism, the macrocosm and the microcosm mirror each other. And this leads on to qi and the beauty about qi. So the problem of the body is it's incredibly complex, and the relationships between things are incredibly complex. And we've got no chance in hell of really ever truly understanding this. But thankfully there's this force within the body, qi, And we'll talk in the next lecture exactly about what chi is. But this force within the body just organises everything. It's like the kind of person in the background of an organisation that's always like a secretary almost, that's telling you what to do. But it's in the body, it's organising everything, it's created by the body, it's part of the body, and it's just silently going on in the background. And what we can do with acupuncture is we don't need to necessarily tell the body how to organise itself, because chi's doing that for it. We can just look at how chi's going wrong and try and correct the chi like water, you know. So chi can go wrong in a very similar way to water. It can get stuck, or it can become like go the wrong way, or the pipes can get furred up, and we can just look at that and say, well, you know, that information is moving in the wrong way, we'll just redirect it or change it or help it. And so we don't need to kind of like get down into the actual nitty gritty of the information and say, look, you know, go and tell the cells in this area to do this. We can just say, look, you know, if we get this chi moving faster or smoother into this direction, it will then do the hard work and tell the cells what to do. We just need to, you know, stick a teeny weeny little needle in and move it along, and it will do all the hard work for us. So that's the good news. Chi does the hard work for us.